Welcome to today's episode. We were diving into the fascinating world of TCM clinical practice, exploring the interesting cases, challenges, and also memorable the patient experience. Today, we have Dr. Ting-Yu Huang, a TCM doctor from China Medical University Hospital, here to share some amazing stories with us. 欢迎收听今天我们的节目，我们将深入探讨中医临床诊断的世界，来了解医师们在诊间当中遇见的一些趣事、挑战和难忘的案例。我们今天邀请到黄廷宇医师呢，他在我们中国医药大学附设医院拥有丰富的临床经验。那么今天来跟我一起分享他一些精彩的一些临床诊疗的经验故事。欢迎。
嗨，各位听众朋友，大家好。
Okay. Could you briefly introduce yourself and also share why you choose to become the TCM doctor?
So I'm Ting-Yu Huang, and I currently work at China Medical University Hospital, the TCM department, acupuncture department. So previously, actually, I did not major in medicine when I started university. I was studying photonics, and later I mastered in physics.
Ooh.
And so after that, I was thinking about what I was going to do with my life. And so one of the options was to become a doctor, which is a common option chosen in Taiwan.
Mm-hmm.
So, I wanted a stable life. And I saw my advisors in the physics department. They had to fly around looking for jobs all around the world, and that was not what I wanted to go for in the rest of my life. So I chose to switch to a more relatively stable environment. Yeah, but I think there are still some things that are left over from passions in physics, which affect how I think in medicine.
But of course, to become the TCM doctors, you need to study the TCM. Yeah, I think for the post-bachelor, the study should be 5 years. And also needed to have the, clinical observation for Western medicine and also internship, the clinical, clinical internship for the TCM. Yeah. So I think you have a lot of experience for this kind of, the treatment. 所以我相信其实学到中医系大概念5年，那当然要经过西医的见习，还有中医的实习，那当然还有很多临床经验，所以这个就是您今天来跟我们分享的最重要的一个基础。So could you share particularly interesting or forgettable the cases from your clinical experience?
So in my OPD, most of my patient group are musculoskeletal injury, 就是肌肉骨骼相关的一些疼痛类的疾病。And most of my patients are like students or workers. Yeah. So there was this student which I remember very clearly. So she was on a basketball team, and so usually she comes for leg pain, shoulder pain, or like injuries due to playing basketball. And this time it was, I think, around 2 or 3 weeks ago, she came and said that she just went to run a half marathon.
Wow, marathon.
Yeah. And well, I didn't know she ran marathons in the past, but yeah, then I knew. And her chief complaint was very interesting because she said that after she run a marathon, she will have a cold right arm. And that is very interesting because, interesting in a sense that we would expect this not to happen, because after strenuous exercise for like 1 or 2 hours, you would expect someone to have hot limbs. Yeah. So we started to think what happened. And so I asked, does this happen when you play basketball? She said no. So that's a very interesting finding because it's not directly related to exercise itself, but related to the type of exercise. So next we started to think, what's the difference between playing basketball and marathon running? And So eventually, this line of thought led us to think, oh, marathon running is a sport in which you need to breathe a lot. Well, breathe, you use your costal muscles and your lungs and your diaphragm a lot to inhale and exhale because, it's basically not a like 爆发性 like a strenuous sport like basketball. So after we thought to this point, I asked her to lie down and asked her to do something with, well, it may seem very weird, but I asked her to breathe and let me see how she breathes. Yes. So 就是我看她怎么呼吸，就是因为像厘清说她是不是呼吸形态造成的问题。So she started to breathe her normal way. And usually when we breathe, we use our diaphragm to push our abdomen, push down, and the abdomen, you will see the abdomen of the patient rise up. And also the chest, you will use your intercostal muscles to raise your ribs. So in a more normal breathing pattern, you would expect the patient to have a rising chest with a simultaneous rise of the abdomen. And so when she started to breathe, the initial part was okay. You can see that both of these rise simultaneously. And after to like a third of the inhalation phase, you will see the abdomen does not continue to rise. Only the chest rise. And the later phase, you would see that she is starting to use her neck muscles a lot.
Oh, okay, the neck muscle.
Yes. 就是有点像是人家在用脖子呼吸。Yeah. So this is a very indicative finding because she said she had cold limbs, and cold limbs is pointing in a direction to say that there is reduced blood flow to this limb. So combined with the pattern that she breathes a lot with her neck muscles, I started to think, okay, maybe it is because her neck muscles are too tight, and the tightness is exacerbated by running a marathon for like 1.5 hours or 2 hours. So in this process, the blood vessels are squeezed in and will become narrower and reduce the blood flow to the upper limb. So following this line of thought, I started my palpation process and found that, okay, she really has a lot of very tight neck muscles. So the treatment after that was very straightforward. So I just used acupuncture needles to relax the muscles on her neck. And the lucky fact was that she went marathon running like 3 days after the treatment. And she came back 1 week later and said this time she did not have that symptom. So it was quite a memorable case because you don't often see this type of chief complaint occur in the clinic. Yeah. So it's quite memorable.
Wow. Because it is like patient, I think, because she is used to play the basketball, but now she's running the marathon. So it's a total different kind of the exercise. So different exercise should have different kind of the breathing method. Yeah. So the method also linked to the muscles, group. So I think based on your knowledge, TCM knowledge, you also know, okay, different breathing method can link to different muscles. So could be when she has this kind of problem with the marathon should be, so you just judge on this kind of treatment based on the breath method.
Yes.
Wow, great. 很厉害呢，在用这种方式，因为他知道他本来就喜欢是做篮球运动，他喜欢跑马拉松，可是他完全不同运动形式。然后我们黄医师立刻想到说，他是不是因为真的呼吸上的习惯上不同，运用上的方式不同，而导致他一些肌肉上的一些使用群落不同的时候，会造成一些疼痛啊，或者是紧缩的概念，是不是这样的意思呢？
对，就是因为他在打篮球的时候不会，但是打篮球跟马拉松最大的差别就是马拉松你是一个比较长期，一直要很大量的进行心肺
有氧运动，
有氧的运动，但是篮球比较像是一个爆发性运动，你可以爆发一下，然后休息一下，爆发一下，休息一下，不会持续一直在操心肺这样子。那因此在呼吸的这个层面上，以马拉松来说，它的占比是会比较高的。那因此我就会想到说，那是不是应该要评估一下它的呼吸形态，是不是有什么样的问题可以导致它的上肢会冷掉？冷掉就比较像是一个缺血的表现。对，
哇，这个很厉害，我觉得这个可能如果没有一点点真的对运动有了解的人的话呢，可能就是会对这个判断上就有点无法找出原因出来。
就我本身也是蛮喜欢运动，就都是在爬山。
哇。So Dr. Huang also love to do exercise, and the favorite is
I go hiking. Well, in Taiwan we call it climbing in Chinese, but in English terms it should be called hiking. Because most of the times we just use our legs. We do not use our arms. Yeah.
Okay, so it's just we use the legs for the hiking.
Yes.
Yeah. But normally when you practice in the clinic, I think most of them use his arms, right? His upper body. So just do some exercise to balance it. So today is welcome to very thanks to give us this kind of fascinating the sharing experience. And how can we find you if some people want to looking for your help? So they just go to our China Medical University Hospital and to book your clinic for conservation or also for the treatment, right?
Yeah, you can just go to our CMUH website, and on our acupuncture department, you can find a place where you can make a reservation.
Yeah. 哇，所以谢谢今天我们的黄医师呢，我们中国医药大学附设医院中医部的黄医师呢，那他本身也是在我们针灸科的住院医师。那如果你有需求的话呢，欢迎到我们中国医药大学附设医院的网站来直接搜寻他的诊间的挂号资讯就知道了。Okay, so thank you very much for today for your sharing. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.